is also 10,000. If you're doing the project stroke, the workshop is 10,000, and the exemption is also 10,000. For the time being, the workshops are being held at Kasneb Towers. For the time being, at a central place. We have already held 2 workshops for the December 2022 group and for the April 2023 group. So this is a 3rd series of workshops for the August 2023 group. The workshop takes 1 week. The tentative date for the workshop is the date starting 16th October. So that is a date that we are tentatively working with, but we shall be confirming most likely later in the week. That week, of course, has a public holiday, so it means that the Saturday may be used to compensate for the public holiday, or the class itself with the facilitators may agree to sacrifice. Maximum class size is 50 students, so it is on a first come first served basis. If you miss that workshop, then you wait for the next one. Attendance is physical and compulsory, and only candidates based outside Kenya are allowed to attend virtually, because it's a very interactive one-on-one, and you are supposed to make some presentations, so it is important that you attend physically. Only exemption is for candidates outside the country, and we know the candidates who are outside the country. So for exemptions, previously we had been providing emails for students to send, but now we would wish that everything be done through the portal. You do everything through the portal. You apply for exemption on the portal, upload the necessary documentations. You're going to see the paper CA5R, CS.5R. You receive an invoice for 10,000, then you make payment, and then you await further update. That is for the exemption, and then you are going to see your exemption on the portal. Last time, for the 2 groups, we have been providing an email where they were sending their documents, but you know, tracking and tracing email communication, sometimes 1 or 2 students may be left out. But when you do it through the portal, it is possible to pick out the issues and ensure that everybody is addressed. But emails, sometimes that can be a challenge. Now, before I go to CPA, I just want to share with you 1 or 2 things, the CS, just from the previous workshop, and then I'll allow you to ask the questions briefly. Very pressing questions. Then we proceed on. Let me see whether I can share with you a report. Good. So that is a sample of a workshop that we held. That's an actual workshop that we have held. And you can see the number is very much managed. So it is important that you book yourself early. That is 10th to 14th July 2023. That is just a summary of the report. You can see it is a 5-day workshop. Of course, this is just a report. You can see that is the official opening by the CEO of that workshop. You can see everyone has a laptop, so please make sure you come with your laptop. You can see the concepts, how the facilitation was undertaken. I won't go into so much detail on this. Each day. And then there's an evaluation team that has to come separate from the facilitators. An evaluation team on the last day as you present your workshop, because there's an assignment that they are going to do. Now, comments from the last batch of participants. This is actual now. The workshop was very helpful. Some are taking postgraduate studies and intends to use the knowledge from this workshop. The facilitators understood that many participants were able to conceptualize research. They commended Kasneb. All issues they raised were handled in a timely manner. We are very, very particular on these issues of workshop. That is a list of candidates whom we admitted, and that is a program. You can see a very well detailed program up to a minute review. Those are the issues that are addressed, from overview of the research process to problem formulation, the objectives, theoretical review, research techniques, data collection, all the way to issues of research. Now look at day 5. Day 5 is a whole day is dedicated to individual plenary presentations as per instruction, whole day. So you present the whole day, and then we have workshop closure. Now look at that. Our participants now group discussions. I'll say group discussions as they prepare. Then those are now actual students making presentations. Actual students now making their presentations as an individual. That is the class for the class. So that is basically our last workshops, just to encourage our batch, the August cohort 3, who are coming into a program well organized, very participative, and very satisfactory from the point of view of the students who have been able to undertake this workshop. So that is the end for CSS. Just note that sorry, I didn't know I had muted. You for the CS group, as I was saying, you pay through the students portal. Will be linked to the eCitizen. All government institutions are now paying centrally through the eCitizen. So let me stop there. This is our first presentation. So we shall be holding sessions with you, but let me hear any quick. We shall be having a plenary later, but let me hear any burning questions from CSS before we proceed to CPA, and then data analytics, and then now we open another final a final plenary session. Vincent, Erasto, my colleague Erasto, are you on board? Erasto? Vincent, please proceed.
If somebody is supposed to pay renewal fee, let's say you are
I can see some hands raised. So those who have raised their hands, please. I can see, I think Sarah. I can see Vincent giving a teach. I can see Buyanzi Samin.
Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready.
Proceed.
Introduce
yourself and
is somebody supposed to pay a renewal fee? Let's say when you are doing now the workshops ikupate katika ile harakati za kufanya ya renew, like supposed to pay the renewal fee of 2000 again, and yet you are done with the practical paper.
Yeah, as we speak, current the renewal fees are still payable, but there is a request that came from the previous cohort. There is a request that came from the previous cohort if we can allow you to finish now without renewal fees. As we speak now, they are still applicable, but there's something we are following with the board. so that those renewal fees, you'll be given a decision. Let me say you'll be given a decision, but as you speak now, because you are still a student, then the renewal fees still apply up until we're able to sort the issue and we get direction from the board. Buyanzi?
Much. Mine is pretty short. There's echo. I don't know who. Well, my question is with regards to how long it takes to for the whole process, assuming that you are qualified for the exemptions, how long does it take to get the certification, an approximate time? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, once you apply for exemption and we are able to confirm you qualify for exemptions, usually we do have a special meeting of the board to come and look at your results. So for now, because you are now moving into October, we expect to have, for the purposes of the certificates, we expect to have a special meeting of the board or a committee around November, just to, after everybody, because we have to wait for everybody to go, those who are going through workshops, those who are going through exemptions, all of them, we are going to give you a timeline within which you are expected to submit your exemptions. And then for those going through the workshops, as I've mentioned, we have a tentative date for the workshop, then we present all them. So you give it around 3 months, 3 months on the higher side. But once you have gone through this process, then you can be getting your letter of completion, even as you await the certification. So that is the target we work with. Of course, there could be give and take here and there, but we are saying within 3 months, we should be able to finish before we go to the next batch of candidates. We don't like mixing candidates. Like now we finished with the April ones, so that we don't mix up with the December, the August ones. Yeah. Sarah Njoroge? Sarah?
These 50 students that are being attended on a first come basis, it's on the payment, on the booking.
Yes, it's on the booking. It's on
From
the
my
booking.
portal, I do not have the option to book for the
Yeah,
training.
that one you cannot see because the date has not yet been confirmed. So you want to confirm the date so that you book and you get a timetable. The timetable will read the. Yeah.
So we will be alerted on the timetable.
Yeah, we are going to alert you the same way. Please be checking your emails. Be checking your emails. Once we firm up everything, we'll also have another webinar, most likely the week, not this week, next week, so that we firm up this and we tell you everything, and then you're able to roll on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Halkano, maybe the last 2 questions, then I proceed. Then we'll come back to the questions. Halkano, Jaso. Okay. So
for those who complete,
yes, Halkano.
those who completed their, I'm asking, is exemption allowed for those who completed their master's course awaiting graduation?
If you have a letter,
Yes.
showing that you have finished, you must have a letter and transcripts. That one is acceptable.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
So allow me also to just brief our CPA finalists, then we shall all come back to the plenary. Now, for CPA, as you are aware, there is a requirement for practical experience, which will be rolled out to the other professionals soon. But for CPA, you are required to have at least 1 year of practical experience before you finally graduate. In addition, One of the other changes that came in for under the revised syllabus is a compulsory workshop on ethics for CPA finalists, which will be rolled out to other qualifiers. So very soon, maybe in the course of next year, later next year, from around July, those will not have finished. This requirement on ethics may be spread out to the other professional qualifications because ethics is critical for all. So for now, the requirement for our CPA finalists to attend this workshop on ethics. And of course, the issue of a research project for CSs, those ones we have already mentioned. As you have said, a trainee accountant is required to possess at least 1 year of relevant practical experience before award of the final CPA certificate. And there is a program we are running with the Institute, with ISPAC, which is on trainee accountants practical experience framework, or TAPEF. Now, for those who have the 1 year practical experience, you will be required to, there are certain competencies that are called compulsory competencies. And there are certain competencies that are called elective competencies. Okay. Now, what are the compulsory competencies? The compulsory competencies are those competencies that, regardless of which area you are in, whether you are in audit, whether you are in accounting, whether you are in taxation, these ones, they cut across, okay? And one of them is the issue of professional ethics and values. That is compulsory. We must be able to say that you have upheld ethical requirements in your workplace, all right? And then professional skills. Professional skills are beyond the technical skills. These are the ones that make you now complete as a professional. Yes, you know about the technical skills of audit, accounting, tax, but beyond the technical skills, what skills make you holistic? So those are the ones we are calling professional skills. And those ones, again, we require you to demonstrate. So those are the two compulsory competencies. And the template guides you on what we shall be looking for. It tells you there's a section where we provide a guidance. There's a section where you write and indicate whether how you have met those requirements. And then professional skills, leadership, communication, managerial skills, IT, that is information technology, and business strategy. Business strategy here, we are not saying that you must work for a very big organization. Even if you work for an SME, there is no institution that does not have a strategy in terms of how to grow. So how have you contributed, wherever you are working, how have you contributed to the growth of where you are working? Or is your work just to prepare accounts and go home? Are you participating, or are you advising on, based on what you are doing, are you advising where you are working in on matters of business growth? So those two are compulsory. Then we have elective competencies. These ones are many. I've just selected a few. And you are required just to demonstrate competence in just one, at least one of these areas, not all, at least one, depending on where you're working. If you're working in financial accounting, if you're working in financial analysis, management accounting, financial planning, evaluation, if you're working in taxation, audit, public financial management in the government, if you're working in forensic audit, and other aspects of accounting. This is just a select, but there are very many. As per the Accountants Act, there are so many of them. So which one are you in? So this is where now you demonstrate your technical competencies. Okay, so those ones elective, that's why we are calling them elective. You just need to demonstrate one. If you have more than one, again, you indicate. It's after you finish the business data analytics that you can apply for assessment of practical experience. And the template is going to be shared on email, and also it's going to be uploaded on our website so that you can be able to see it. Now, experience that you got after you started the CPA qualification is acceptable. Experience you got before you started your CPA qualification is not acceptable. It must have been after you started your CPA. So experience acquired before is not admissible. And of course, we have that template, which we are calling the practical experience log, is a template which we shall email you now that you are finished, those who have finished BDA, and it will also be available on the Kasneb website. The experience may be obtained in Kenya or outside Kenya. Experience acquired after you finish CPA is also going to be accepted. This experience must be 1 year. It need not be continuous 1 year, but when we add all the months that we are working, either even if it was full-time employment or internship, we can be able to get 1 year. If you're working part-time, then, and you have been working part-time for 1 year, then effectively that is 6 months. If you're working part-time, then you should have worked for an equivalent of 1 year. All right. So then, where it is not continuous, any such part must aggregate to at least 12 months. So the nature of the experience is captured in a designated form, and any costs of the practical experience program is borne by the candidates in terms of search for internship, search for job opportunities, but we can write a recommendation letter for you to assist you in terms of obtaining internship opportunities. Now, if you do not have 1 year experience, you'll be required to attend a work simulation workshop. You'll be required to attend a work simulation workshop. We have already held one already in July, which combined our April 2023 graduates and some December 2022 graduates. They attended theirs and they finished. And now they are awaiting to graduate. Actually, they have graduated. Their certificates are currently under print. So if you do not have 1 year experience, then you must come for the work simulation workshop, which is a must. It is held within Kasneb Towers. And as I've said, you have already held one. Now, and after you finish BDA, you have a window of 5 years to come and finish this experience. If you don't, then we withdraw and you have to go back again and sit from where you stopped, you sit the business data analytics and then afresh and then come back. So there's a 5 year window. So, but we urge you to immediately book the next simulation workshop, or if you have 1 year experience, to immediately submit that experience. Of course, after you finish with the Kasneb and you get your certificate, ISPAC will admit you as an associate member until you have at least 3 years experience for you to be a full member of the institute. You join in as an associate until you get 3 years experience, then you become a full member. So what you are saying is that when you are not able to obtain relevant practical experience, you physically attend the work simulation workshop, which is currently being held at Kasneb Towers. If you're outside Kenya, then we can arrange with the local institution there to have a work simulation done, because it would be expensive for you to come to Kenya for this work. We will make arrangements for your respective country on a need basis. Please note that disciplinary provision to CPAs, CSS coming for these workshops. Please mute, so that if you cheat or provide information that is not complete, then we shall just cancel your registration. We shall cancel your registration, and it will be very painful for you to lose your registration at this very last stage. So we expect everyone to conduct themselves with ethics and integrity. So as you've said, the onus is on the candidate to obtain the practical experience, but Kasneb will endeavor to provide necessary support. So the practical experience template should be signed off by yourself and your employer or employers. But for the practical experience, this one, because they are originals, these ones we shall insist that they be delivered to Kasneb personally or by post. The originals, personally or by post, to the CEO's office, to the attention of the CEO. However, the same should be uploaded on your portal. The same should be uploaded on your portal as you seek exemption, but the originals which were originally stamped by the employer should be submitted to us through the CEO's office or sent by post to the attention of the CEO's office. Now, workshops on ethics. Workshop on ethics. These are compulsory workshops on ethics. We have already held 2 workshops. These are one-day workshops, and they are compulsory for everyone. Those in Kenya, they attend in person for now. Those outside Kenya, they attend virtually. So virtual attendance is for those outside Kenya. They cover issues of practical scenarios on ethics, soft skills, and related areas. The workshop is in the English language, but where we have many candidates, we also administer exams in French-speaking countries like Cameroon and Burundi. Then, if those ones, we can get a translation for you from English to French. This will be held at Kasneb Towers. It is our intention to diversify, or rather bring other regions. This will be dependent on the numbers. If we see you are many, at least 50 in Mombasa, we shall organize one for you in Mombasa. Same applies to other parts of the country, Kisumu, Eldoret, we can. If not, then you have to come here. We endeavor to give you a 2 weeks notice. We hope that by the end of this week, we should have firmed up the dates for these workshops. The cost is 2,500 shillings. It's a one-day workshop. Then we also want to open it up to our candidates who are already in the advanced level. But for now, we are giving priority to those who have finished BDA. Remember, the class size is fixed. So we are giving priority to those who have finished BDA to book for this workshop. There are assessments undertaken after the ethics workshop, and results are updated on the portal. The results, there's a quiz at the end of the ethics workshop, and you need to pass that quiz. It's not a very difficult one. Now, you have to attend the workshop on ethics first before you can book the workshop on simulation. All right, and before your practical experience can be processed. You book for the ethics, you finish, your results are uploaded on your portal, then you go ahead and book for the work simulation. All right, or your practical experience to be assessed, but you can start submitting your practical experience requirement based on the way we have guided you. Please do not email me. Please upload on your portal and send the hard copy to the CEO's office. The class size is 50, first come, first served. We intend to have a series of one-day workshops so that if you miss one, you don't have to wait for long. We do provide morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, parking, internet to all workshop attendees, whether it is CS or a CPA workshop attendees. Cost of the workshops vary. For the time being, it is 2,500 for ethics, 10,000 for work simulation. You bring your own laptops for both, then you graduate in the next immediate sitting. So like now, those who met their requirements, they sat their exams, they met their requirements of workshops between May and July. So their effective graduation date is a date of August 2023. So for all of us, our effective graduation date is, your certificates will read December 2023 because of meeting of the requirements now between now and November. Okay. Now, before I finish, I want to share with you one or two things on the workshop on simulation so that you can see, and also something on the, before I go to BDA, let me see whether there's something I can share with you. Practical experience template. No, it's not this one. Let me close that. I want to share with you template for submission of practical experience. Let's see how it looks like in a minute. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, here it is. So this is how the template looks like, and there is some guidelines for you. Just to tell you what is expected. I want to draw your attention to number 5, sorry. Information submitted by applicants will be independently verified. Kasneb reserves the right to require any applicant to present themselves physically as part of this verification process. The form shall be completed and signed off by the applicants. Employer shall be required to verify. There could be many employers shall be required to verify the information provided. Then the applicant shall scan the form and upload it on their students portal. And then the original hard copy stamped practical experience requirement addressed to the CEO shall be submitted through that address or delivered to Kasneb Towers. You are advised, please note this, that's why some are returned. You are advised to attach any additional testimonials, including letters of appointment. Or if you don't want to attach your letter of appointment, you could attach a confidential employer's declaration indicating your appointment date, duties, and responsibilities. All right. If you are deployed somewhere, if you received a commendation, if you received a recommendation, promotion, and any other relevant evidence. Ensure the form is complete. Incorrect or incomplete shall be returned back. Deadline shall be, you'll be told by when you need to submit the deadline. You should be typed using Arial font size 12 with single spacing. All information received by us will be treated with strict confidentiality. You know, Kasneb is known for confidentiality. And if you have less than 1 year experience, you have two options: to wait and acquire the 1 year experience or attend the work simulation workshop. All right. And of course, what we have said is that applicants are reminded that submitting false information constitutes a serious examination irregularity. We have the gazetted Kasneb examination rules. These were gazetted by Parliament last year, August, under legal notice number 152 of 2022. And it covers where you provide information which is not correct, then action will be taken against you. So these are the details you provide. I'll not go through them. Employment history you give us. Then I've mentioned about this. We have the compulsory competencies. You can see the explanation to guide you, and then you indicate on the extreme right with how you met that. Professional values, ethics. You indicate how you met each of these. Each of these I've mentioned. And then professional skills, communication. How did you communicate? How did you handle managerial, IT literacy, business strategy? That one I think I've already explained. Then elective, you must have demonstrated at least one. In accounting, what were you doing in accounting? Some examples there. Financial analysis, what you are doing. Managerial accounting, financial planning and evaluation, taxation, audit, public financial management, other accountancy competencies. They are defined in the Accountants Act you mentioned. Then you can see a confirmation by your employer. Your employer will tell us where you worked from, the name of the employer, name and job title of person confirming, their contacts, any other comments, signature, and official rubber stamp for each of the employer. Then a final declaration. I declare that the information provided above is true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. Okay, now for work simulation, let me just see whether I can just show you. Now, the work simulation is based on QuickBooks. We use QuickBooks 2023 version. Is the latest version in the market for simulation, and we use actual data. We use actual data which you are taken through right from the process, the entire accounting cycle. You cover it as if you are in the workplace. It's a very, very interesting program. It received a lot of commendation from the team that went through it for the very first time in July. And basically, you create data, live data, and you are given a license. Each one of you are given a QuickBook license, and you use that license throughout the training until you're able to generate the books of accounts and go through the entire cycle. So this is just a snapshot of some of the things they did or they do, and the graphs and the analytics they do. So they covered the issue of navigating the QuickBooks online interface, adjusting the organization's accounts, input and manage chart of accounts, customer data, product and service lists, transactions, opening balances, and all that. These are things they covered. They actually generated and printed invoices, print invoices, edit transactions, deleting transactions, entering sales receipts using the journal report, and the practice with customer and donor transactions. They also looked at donor transactions, the issue of accounts payables, bills, debit notes, withholding taxes, paying vendor bills and withholding tax. All these cost allocations, even aspects of management accounting, they were able to cover cash transactions, reconciliations of bank accounts, the audit log, using the audit log that is in QuickBooks. All those you can see, they actually went through all this. So that is on work simulation. For those who do not have work experience, you are actually exposed to what happens in the field or in the world of work. Now, finally, allow me to finish with our business data analytics and financial modeling. And what I will do is just to inform you, number one, that this is a practical paper. Okay. So what we want you to do is to note that business data analytics is a first of its kind paper in a professional program where you're required to sit physically for a paper. It's based on MS Excel. You do analytics, you prepare financial statements. It has 3 sections. The business data analytics paper has 3 sections. It has section 1, which is multiple choice based. I wanted to see whether I can get a past paper. Maybe this one I'll share with you later. But it has a multiple choice part A. We have 20 questions.
I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I think it is muting itself. Somebody muted me. So what I was saying is that business data analytics has 3 sections. Section 1 is 20 multiple choice questions. Section 2, we have 2 compulsory questions. The first compulsory question, financial reporting, and also we also do have a question on financial management. Those ones are compulsory. Then in section 3, you now choose one.
You're muted again, William.
Someone is muting me. I don't know. Alex, who is muting me? Someone is muting me. I don't know why. I think that could be our IT administrator. Please don't. When you are muting, just mute the person who is speaking. Now, so what we are seeing there is the specifications of the laptops that we expect you. The specifications of the laptops that we expect you to come with.
You haven't completed what you are reading about the section.
Just download. Okay, let me just show you again, because we expect you to get a laptop which you will come with and use it. Let me see. I wanted to expand that. Minimum laptop specifications. I've just downloaded it. I hope it is clear enough. I hope you can be able to expand from your screen. Sorry for that. Let me just see. So basically what you are saying is that you come with your laptop, and then we shall allocate centers for you where you are going to sit the examinations from particular centers. And this center you choose from. You.
Then you're on mute again.
I don't know who is muting me.
Can you kindly mute from your side? You mute all of us so that it's only you who can talk.
ICT. I'm not the administrator. We have our ICT person.
No, you can do it yourself. You don't need an ICT personnel.
Please repeat on the centers.
Yeah. Somebody is muting others. Okay, there is an administrator who is muting everyone. And I don't want to go into muting. I want to focus on the presentation. So let me hope that we will not have interruptions. And I do have. Let me sort out this issue of muting. Let me just sort out, I see. All right, so this is my final part. Just to read for you basically the requirements for BDA. Please ensure that you do have this laptop with these specifications in terms of the processor, at least Core i3, memory 4 GB, hard disk, at least 20 GB, free space, display, that is a resolution. We shall share this with you, and then accessories, the mouse, the keyboard, network interface. If you have a headphone or earphone, not mandatory, but a web camera is also critical, but not mandatory. Operating system, Windows 7 and above, or Linux, Chrome, or Mac 05. Internet browser, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, MSH, antivirus critical, and also the word processor and spreadsheets. Those ones are provided, in particular Microsoft 2010 and above. So we are going to, you need to proceed and book the business data analytics. And for you, we shall have additional sessions for training on how to sit for a computer-based examination. That one we shall have an intensive 1 month training in the month of November, just to train you on how you are going to sit for business data analytics on a computer-based platform. So that is a brief we wanted to share with you. We apologize because we should have done this much earlier. I know there has been a lot of anxiety from our students. What is the way forward? So we will continue with these webinars and updating you, because our wish is that to finish in a very quick
Okay.
Allow me to invite you to ask your questions. I'm hoping that my colleagues are on. Erasto or Joseph? Is there one of them on board? Okay. Now, I want Mutedia, followed by Duncan.
Yes. Thank you very much. I have 4 questions. One of the questions that I would like to ask is the issue of BDA centers. When you get into the system, there's a place where you should go to the center you intend to sit for your exam. So can we have a list maybe for the updated centers? And then my other question is on the cooking book lessons. If you have demonstrated work experience and you have been using the cooking books, the online version, can you be able to get the lessons? And then my third one is on the
We have lost you. For the data analytics, we will be, I've said we'll be having quite a number of sessions with you, so you don't have to be worried about most of these issues, the centers and all that. Data analytics, the issue of center, we are going to have a 1 month session with you, so you don't need to be very worried about the issue of centers.
Okay.
So
now, yes, my other question was on the ethics. You clarified that you'll give the BDA finalists on the training. So how can the BDA who are yet to sit identify that if there will be an opportunity for them to book? Thank you.
BDA, if you have not done BDA, you cannot do ethics. You have to finish BDA first. You sit ethics. So ethics workshop is strictly for those who have passed BDA. Centers, we'll let you know the centers, because right now, once we finalize, there are about 14 centers all over the country. We are going to let you know. Then for work simulation, that one we will get you the licenses from our QuickBook version, not the one you are using. We have licenses for them, and we'll get you a license from our end. Duncan, and if you can limit the questions to maximum 2, because we'll be having other sessions so that others can also ask, we'd really appreciate. Duncan.
Thank you. Thank you. My question, is once you are done with BDA, can you apply for membership at ISPAC?
Duncan, no. You have to finish BDA and do ethics. You have to do ethics, and you have work simulation. You can't go to ISPAC before you graduate.
What if you have more than one work experience, more than 1 year?
You have to wait for that experience to be evaluated by Kasneb. But remember, the workshop on ethics is compulsory for everyone. Okay, someone with the GP? Someone has joined with a laptop called GP? Okay, Paul Ogero?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Can you mute so that also we don't get the echo?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the great presentation. Now that you have limited us to ask only 2 questions. One, I've seen it has been asked in the group, if you follow about ethics. One of the challenges we have with Kasneb is about the ethics. We'll expect you, the people who are giving us this kind of platform in terms of training the future accountants to have a clear ethics and professionalism when you are working. That leads me to my question about communication. You want to give us a training or a workshop on communication, but most of the time that as students we suffer a lot when it comes to communication to Kasneb. You'll send an email and it takes like 4 months to be replied. And I'm looking forward to like a time when I can send an email today to Kasneb and I get a reply maybe in the next 2 days. That's the minimum I expect from Kasneb. The second one is about the work simulation workshop that you are mentioning. If this work simulation is going to take a day, and if you look at our government, what they're really fostering is the issue to do with ICT. Can it be in a position where Kasneb can offer this workshop online? Because I'm looking at a person who is coming from Kisumu or is coming from Mombasa just to do a workshop for a day and then go back. Does Kasneb provide accommodation, or this person has to sort themselves out? That is my question. If I can be answered, please. Thank you.
The workshop on simulation is 1 week, it's not 1 day. Number 2, I hear you are concerned about communication. My marketing team is here. Let me not go into that, but that concern has been raised. And lastly, this is an exam, okay? It's an exam and you have to come. We don't do it virtual for now. It's an exam which you come. And you don't sit an exam at home. It's part of the examination process. What we said is that because the numbers right now are not many, if you were to give you, if you're in Kisumu and you're alone and you have to organize a workshop for you in Kisumu, you'll have to pay for the facilitator, you have to pay for the venue. It will be going to be very expensive. So for now, the workshops are centralized here in Nairobi until we have the numbers, okay? Until we have the numbers. So that's what we have done, and we have explained to our first 2 cohorts, and they have understood. Sometimes you have to sacrifice in order to finalize on your qualification. That's a sacrifice we expect you as a student to make as part of the qualification journey. When we do have sufficient numbers that we are able to organize a workshop for outside Nairobi, then that is going to be our first priority. And I've talked about most likely from the next batch that does the exams in December. Now, Irene K. Okay. Esther Oloishorua.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. So my question is around the work experience. So I just needed clarification. For instance, if I registered for CPA in 2017, that means the experience after 2017 is what matters. So I needed clarification on that. And then on after now filling the forms for work experience and then doing the ethics training, how long will it take for us to receive the certification? Thank you, and back to you.
Yeah, thank you. We're taking from 2017. I will start taking from yeah, and then you finish the workshops and the practical experience is evaluated. The sooner we can have a board, then we prioritize that in the next board meeting. So you need to give it like I said 3 months from now for us to finish. 3 months after you finish your exam. So you give it September, October, and November. Should be able to finish. In terms of printing certificates, it does not take long. It takes about 2 weeks to print. What holds the process is the approvals. That of course you have to be approved and you have to go through certain approval processes. So you work with November for completion of this process and issue the certificates. Brian Maingi. Brian, I will not be able to answer all questions, but I'm just picking selectively. I'm just picking randomly so that I can. Some of those questions, at least I'm sure they are repetitive. And once you hear your question has been asked, you can lower your hand. Brian?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I have 2 questions. The first one, regarding, I've seen the somewhere that you had mentioned something about considering the experience after CPA qualification. When you say that, do you mean work experience gained from the first paper that you did in CPA up until the advanced level, or do you mean after the final advanced paper that you did? The second question, concerning, let's say, for example, your accounting experience is limited to a particular area that has not been captured in the template. Let's say, for example, if you're a payroll accountant or something and you haven't had the chance to do full financial statements or something of the sort, how will that be helpful in considering the exemption for the work simulation workshops? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I said that experience from the time you registered the first paper, not from the time you finished the last paper. And then whichever area you are in, indicate in detail what exactly you have been doing. It is going to be evaluated and feedback will be provided. Whichever area you are in, if it's payroll accounting or revenue management, just indicate under the accounting subhead, indicate, and of course it's going to be evaluated. Yvonne Nyamonge, I think. Nyamongo? Yvonne? Okay. Terry Ochieng? Yes.
Okay, about the certificate. When you want to get certificate for advance, is it after completing BDA or after completing everything, including work ethics and simulation? Then my second question is, when do one get the forms for the work experience, the template?
Okay, Terry, you are taking us backwards, please. And those who joined late, I think you'll have to wait for the recording, because I explained that you don't get your certificate until you finish the 2 workshops, not after BDA. Then I say templates will be emailed; they'll be available on the website. Please, if you joined late, you might have to wait for the recording, because some of the questions you asked.
Excuse. Can you hear me?
You're muted, sir.
Makori.
Yes. My question is,
We can't hear Makori. We can't hear Makori. I think there could be some challenge. But someone called Bavugamen.
Yes. So I want to ask
kindly
some
switch off your
question.
videos.
Hello.
Yes, Bavugamenshi. Bavugamenshi, please proceed.
while you're waiting for him, I had a question.
Yes.
Can you be able to give a feedback?
Okay. I think I will now look at Bavugamenshi.
Hello.
I've not heard you.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Let's go to Mr. Bell Kakai. I will give five more chances, and then because we need to finish by 2, then
Can I ask?
My question lies on the fact that I hope I'm audible. For those who have more than 1 year practical experience, do you
I can't hear you now. Okay, let me give the following 5 a chance to ask. I'll ask, as I've said, we are going to have more sessions. I want to give the following 5 opportunity. Someone called Gad, someone called Dahir, someone called Nachap, someone called Bernard Okemwa, and someone called Sarah Eric. Can we hear from them? Then I go through the chat. Then we finish for today. We share the recording. Then we have another session. So is Gad there? Gad?
Hello.
He's not there. Dahir?
Hello.
That is
Yeah,
Gad.
Yeah, this is Gad.
It's me, Dahir.
Yes. Gad first, then Dahir. Gad?
Okay, I wanted to ask, after the work simulation and the ethics workshop, are we going to have an assessment on it?
Gad, I said ethics, there's an assessment. Work simulation, there is a quiz also. At the end of it, there's a quiz, Gad. Dahir?
Yeah, my question is for the practical experience proof of the submission. You have talked about there is a requirement of the and professional skills and ethical skills. So what document I need to be shared to prove that? I need to know that. And my other question is how to upload the template on the portal.
Okay.
That's my 2 questions.
The template you will upload, you'll find the once you do the ethics, you attend the ethics, and you have made the ethics requirements, then your portal should be able to open and allow you to submit. In the meantime, since we have given you 2 channels for submitting the experience, fill the physical one and send it to Kasneb right away. Fill the physical one, we shall email you the physical one, fill it, send to Kasneb right away. Then you wait for the uploading later. Then the other question I think you asked was on practical experience.
The evidence.
Yeah, the evidence. First, you have to
indicate,
and then you have to indicate that experience that you have done, and the employer will sign and confirm that that is what you actually did. If you have additional letters, like a letter deploying you, to a particular assignment for maybe in audit, then you also attach that letter as a sign of evidence. Someone called Nachap. Nachap?
Yes, can everybody hear me?
We can.
Yeah, two questions. First is which category, from which year are affected, which students are affected, starting from which year? The second is maybe in the future, Kasneb will also need to roll out these workshops to the schools or colleges to make it easier, because for students who are studying outside Kenya, it is going to be very expensive to come to a workshop in Nairobi, and for all those weeks, it's really going to be expensive. So maybe that is just food for the thought.
Okay. Nachap, you are joining from where?
I'm joining from South Sudan.
Okay. From South Sudan and outside Kenya, we will not force, you will not be required to come to, I said you will not be required to come to Kenya. We will do virtual for the, ethics workshop, and then see whether we'll have one specifically for you in your country, or whether you will have to do virtual. So you don't have to come to Kenya. That's the exemption we are giving to students outside Kenya. Then for which year, everybody who has not graduated is required to go through these requirements. As long as now you are a CPA student, that's requirements. Please, okay, more. Okay, more.
Okay, you are on mute. Okay, you are on mute. You switched on the camera.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Can guys switch off their cameras? We don't need to see you.
Okay, more proceed.
Bernard. Yes. Thank you. My question relates to the work experience, where one has some sort of experience from the employer. You have field where you had worked, but somehow you are unable to reach the employer because the company was closed or liquidated. So, but you have an appointment letter or a recommendation letter. Does that serve as the signature from the employer?
Okay. We will need you disclose those circumstances, and so long as you disclose and you tell us, I used to work for this, we are going to do our own background checks to confirm that information. So if you do not disclose and we find that this company is not there, we shall presume that you have submitted incomplete information. So just give full disclosure. Of course, we are going to do our own background checks. Someone called Sarah Eric. Sarah Eric.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Isaac. I think my question has already been answered. I've just heard just a few minutes ago, but I wanted to let me get enough clarification on it. What if your last job was maybe 3 years ago? Would still that count? You can present it and get exempted from the work simulation. If that is okay, let's get that clarification. As long as it's falling between the time you're doing a CPA. If that's okay, kindly clarify.
Yeah. So long as it falls within the period that after you registered for CPA, and you can demonstrate that you worked for 1 year, it does not have to be 1 or 2 years before. At least we are looking for 1 year from the time you started. Okay, just to clarify that.
Thank
you.
Now
I'm to allow just 3 more. June Apondi, Dominic Ngala, LC, and Joseph Schuell. LC, Dominic, June, and Joseph Schuell. If you are on board, LC, are you there? Okay. Dominic Ngala? Not there. June Apondi?
Can I take their part?
No, wait first. June Apondi? Okay. Joseph Schuell? Okay. Dennis Mogeni. Okay. I think maybe your questions have already been responded to. Any burning question now before
Yes,
I finish?
Yeah, Pat.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And my question is, I have two questions, but one is very burning. I did PDA twice, and it seems like we need some clarification based on the added time in terms of what we normally upload in the system. So probably process. So it's quite interesting that even if I look back, there were two questions that I did very well, very sure about. So I wanted to know, are we sure of this additional time? In fact, I did my PDA in Kasneb Towers the second time, twice, I mean, so for April and for August. So, Njuguna, Mr. Njuguna, we just wanted to know whether these added time are valid or nehewa. That's question number one. Question number two is about work experience, but it's not very clear. I've been working, let's say, for more than the required time, but am I still required to go for the ethics course? If I have been attending ISPAC training for this matter, which is relevant, am I supposed to again go for this 1 week workshop?
Okay, thank you. First, BDA, the reason why some people did not make it is because they did not upload their questions. We did questions, you left the questions in your laptop, you did not upload the questions. Please ensure that you attend trainings, all the trainings that we take you through, because uploading is part of the trainings. But unfortunately, a number of candidates did not upload certain questions. And as we mark what you upload. So please note that and ensure you come to trainings. Now, BDA, we are going to share with you sample solutions. We are going to share with you sample questions on the we have a CBE training portal. We are going to share with you the link so that you can watch previous videos on trainings for CBE business data analytics. You can also watch past questions and past solutions. And we are going to do our best, because it is not our wish that if you don't make it, our wish is that you make it, and we shall see what you do. So there's a portal. We are going to share with you a link to a certain portal where you can access all our trainings, how to upload and all that. As a workshop on ethics. If you can demonstrate that you have attended ISPAC workshops, submit details of those workshops. We look at what was covered. If we are comfortable with what you covered, then we can provide that exemption. But so far, we have not been able to provide that exemption to anyone because we have not received evidence that somebody attended a workshop on ethics that covered all the requirements. The workshop on ethics is 1 day, not 1 week. Allow me now to just finish with some questions on the chat.
Yes.
Allow
Maybe
me.
you can add this as
Do you? Yes, I'll
Yes,
give you the last chance.
I have a question.
Yes.
On financial modeling, how can we access the marking scheme?
Financial model. Oh, sorry, CIFA financial
Yes.
modeling. What I said for BDA also applies for financial modeling. We are going to share with you. We are going to share with you through the CBE portal. We are going to share with you the past paper questions and how you are expected to respond to them. That's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know. Yes.
The booking you do in the portal for workshop, is it the same as the amount? Once I book in the portal, I'm allowed to go to the workshop, the 1 day workshop.
Yes, you book through the portal, just the way you book for any other exam. Okay. Now, quickly, a few minutes. Is exemption allowed for those who completed their coursework awaiting graduation? Yes. Include a letter from your from the institution saying that you are awaiting graduation. Does it mean that upon completion of the research workshop, you have completed the CS course, or someone else also to do a research project? No. Once you attend the workshop, you don't need to do the project. What is the next step if you have already been exempted from the project? You wait for the evaluation team to go through your exemption request, and you're going to be guided. So you are not yet until you have been communicated to that your exemption request was successful. Do we need to apply for workshop? Yes, you need to apply for workshop through the portal. What is the next step after being exempted from project? I've answered that. Then if someone is conducting research right now, does it count? No, until you finish the master's research. I joined the meeting late. Recording will be shared.
Nipate kadola angalau.
Mercy, mute. Mercy, mute. Is it possible to get part 3 certificate as one proceeds to BDA? No, BDA is part of part 3 or advanced. You must finish everything. Can we get completion letter before doing BDA? No, we have not completed CPA. Do you provide accommodation during workshop? No, we don't. I've said what we do provide. Then shall we never finish CPA if you are to get all the 3 years experience within the 5 years? We don't ask for 3 years experience. We ask for 1 year experience. If you don't have 1 year experience, we have given you an alternative to attend the work simulation workshop. CPA workshop, 10,000 shillings for the work simulation one, 2,500 for the ethics. If one has 10 years of experience, is simulation workshop compulsory? No. And after BDA for an experienced candidate, what is required to get the certificate? Attend the workshop on ethics and submit your practical experience template. If one has a professional ethics certificate, is there exemptions if it has been given by ISPAC or an equivalent body, which is a member body of IFAC? Address on maximum 10 years rule since registration with Kasneb. Yes, the board, under the gazetted regulations, the board has the authority to deregister you if you stay too long beyond 10 years. We have not yet deregistered anybody. We want to give you time to finish, but note that the board can at any time deregister you. There was a problem with the internet during August 2023 CBE exams. Additional hours were counted, but the challenge was loading, ensuring that you have uploaded your solutions. If you just do on your laptop and you don't upload, you have not done. Will you share this PDF? Yes, we will share. CPA workshop is 1 day. CPA workshop on ethics is 1 day. Workshop on simulation 5 days. CS research workshop is 5 days. Where in the portal, in your students' portal, is going to be facilitated. It may not have been facilitated now, but that is going to be facilitated. We shall give you more information. Recording we shall post. PDF we shall post. Kasneb conducts graduation. We have not yet conducted. We are planning to conduct one for the December 22 and August 2020 and April 2023 group. Uploading on the portal, that's okay. How much is the workshop simulation I've explained? Please, for us who are attending from other countries, Nachap Emma from South Sudan, I responded. Kasneb affinity to fail BDA students on flimsy reasons is casting a serious ethical doubt on the manner Kasneb conducts itself in the marking of BDA. Could revenue be priority? Please address this because it's a huge concern. Now, revenue is not a priority. I said that the reason why some candidates failed is that they did not upload, and that one affected a number of them. You did not upload your questions. But let me also tell you this. The pass rate in August was better than the pass rate in April. The pass rate for those who sat in August was better than the pass rate for those who sat in April. I can confirm that. Okay. So use these lessons to improve so that even in December, the pass rate will be higher. But please, uploading was a main challenge for our students, and we shall take you through training. Is a workshop compulsory for those who are currently working? If you have 1 year experience, workshop is not compulsory, but the one on ethics is compulsory. For the employment history, is internship considered? Yes, so long as it was full-time internship and it is for 1 year. For students who have 1 year experience, should they pay any fees? No, there's no fees for submitting your practical experience portal. Practical experience template for now, there's no fee. Who signs as the employer? Is it your immediate boss or the HR? We recommend your immediate boss. The HR can sign later, but both of them can sign. But at least your immediate boss must sign because they are the ones who know what you actually did. For us with over 3 years of experience, must we attend the workshops? Except the workshop on ethics, you must. Our recommendations, work certificate received from previous employers be used to support the confirmations? Yes. That one is okay from the previous employer, but they must also sign unless something happened and maybe they were liquidated, and then you can mention. How much is the total cost? There is something that I'm not understanding. Are we supposed to attend both the ethics workshop and simulation? Yes. Workshop is compulsory for everybody. The one for ethics, simulation if you don't have 1 year experience. Hello, for those with work experience, any amount being paid? No. Someone joined late, they were just floating. They said so, that was the risk of joining late. Is there an exam assessment after work simulation? There's a small quiz you do as an individual and then you present. Do you have to pay for simulation? I think I've answered that. Kasneb, please conduct your webinars like an organization befitting your status. Your IT team is following you like it does always during practical paper exams. We are professionals and you cannot join a mass webinar with people unmuting themselves. I take cognizance of that, Andrew Osoro, and that is going to reach my IT team. Thank you for that feedback. That one now, that is feedback that we take seriously. Really, our IT team, you need to pull up your socks. That is it from also the same from Mohammed. I get you. Then someone joined late. We shall share the recording. When you say that product experience should be acquired after CPA, do you mean after completing advanced? I think I answered that. After you start, that's when we start counting. At Kasneb, where do you recommend people from outside of Kenya to gain coaching about BDA? Thank you. That is from D. Albert. I don't know, D. Albert was joining from which country, but we will share the portal. We will share the portal. We will CB training in terms of how to answer or how to respond to practical questions on BDA. But for the actual tuition, we do not provide as Kasneb, but we can guide you by giving you the examiner's comments and also samples of past solutions. We understand your concerns and we shall share that. Past papers, I promise you we shall. Someone concerned about how people are muting themselves, really, we shall pull up our socks. Minimum requirements for the laptop, we will share that with you again. I think you needed that. How do you intend to address internet connectivity issues experienced across BDA exam centers? That is a lesson. And that is something we are going also to buy our own modems, not just rely on the ones from the centers. Let me see, we're about to finish. Yeah, IT team, you really let us down. Please note that you did not do a very good job. I also take responsibility for our IT team and we apologize profusely for that. Presentation will be shared. CPA practical paper, no exemptions. Can you apply for ISPAC membership after the workshop? No, until you are fully certified by Kasneb. Now. Template, I mentioned how it will be shared through email and on our website. The pay bill seems not to be working. Pay bill, I think we have been having some transition of payments to the e-citizen. That could be challenging, but that is an issue we are going to sort out for payments. Presentations, I can't send the presentation to you individually. I will share with everybody. Yeah, I think issues of workshop, internet connectivity, that one I think is something we have noted. Is there a fee for the work experience? I've said no fee. And I think I've explained that. After BDA, for now, I said you are supposed to pay renewal unless we have put a request to the board, but if the board does not pick it up, then this group will have to pay renewal. But for now, you're supposed to pay renewal. No exemptions for BDA. Someone was witnessed taking lunch. The video was on, just for noting. I think, does it mean that for simulation, someone who is working will miss work for 1 week? If you are working and you have not met 1 year experience, you have to miss work. It's a sacrifice, remember? Even when you are sitting exams, you must leave work to come and sit your exams. Communication, Kasneb via email and phone, we are going to do our best to ensure that we address that, particularly for this group where regular communication will be very, very important. Can work simulation be done before data analytics? No. BDA part 2, we normally give, I think, 2 questions of 20 marks, 30 marks each. You'll see, we'll share the past paper with you. Then renewal fee, that one I've said is still applicable. So as I finish, I may not be able to read everything. You are saying we are becoming too expensive with a lot of confusion. The world where the world is going is not a comfortable world. You have to learn certain skills. You can no longer be comfortable the way you are, sitting theory papers and then finishing and becoming a CPA. The world is not ready for that. Okay, we don't call it confusion, we call it disruption. The world is disrupted, and for you to be able to fit in the new world, the safe, what we used to call safe, is no longer safe. So this disruption we have to go through. Lydia Mombi, I'm a CS student finalist, and when will I be awarded my certificate? Now that I'm done with advanced level or after the research project? Okay, I think I answered that. You gave it up to November for us to finish all this and the printing of certificates. Immediately you get the template. Don't use the template that is circulating because it may not have been updated. Wait until we circulate the current template. I think I've answered who signs. Okay, so I think members, let me see whether there's any other question I may not have really addressed. Okay. So I think that is it, members. Please allow us to end there. We tried our best. We may not have addressed each and every one of your concerns, but this is not the last time we are meeting. We shall be meeting. So allow us to stop there. And I wish to thank each and every one of you that has been able to join this webinar. And we shall afternoon, we shall be making regular contacts with you just to guide you on the way forward. Thank you very much, and bye-bye for now.